Hello students, today we are going to start with second part of first chapter, that is adaptation in animals. If you will observe the picture on the screen, you will see different types of animals. Their size, shape, color, habitat, all are different. Habitat means the natural home or environment of an animal, plant or other organism. What differences do you see between terrestrial and aquatic animals? As compared to terrestrial animals, the skin and body shape of aquatic animals appear to have undergone changes. Fishes have scales on the skin and fins on the body. Fins located in different places on the fish serve different purposes, such as moving forward, turning, keeping an upright position, or to stop. Their body tapers, means becoming thinner or narrower towards one end, towards both its ends. Like a spindle, fish breathe with gills instead of a nose. Now human beings breathe through nose, but fish breathe through gills. Do we have transparent eyelids? Can we see the things when our eyes are closed? No, but fish have transparent eyelids. They have air bladders, means a sac or bag containing gas, especially air, within the body to help them to float. As the frog and duck have webbed toes, that means their toes are connected by a membrane, thin skin. They can use their legs like oars. Oar is used to row a boat through the water. Water flows off the waxy feathers of birds like duck and water hen. Webbed toes, slippery smooth skin, and a triangular head help frogs to swim easily through water. They can live on land as well as in water due to their ability to breathe through the skin in water and using the nose and lungs on land. That means when they are on the land, they breathe through skin. The typical color of a frog's back helps them to hide among grasses. Next one is adaptation in forest and grassland animals. Carnivorous animals. Now, carnivores are the animals that eat other animals like wild dog, fox, tiger, and lion have strong legs to run fast and capture their prey. Prey means an animal that is hunted and killed by another for food. They have claws. A claws means a curved pointed appendage found at the end of a toe or finger in animals. And their canine teeth are sharp and pointed. You can see the picture of the canine teeth on the screen. What is the function of such teeth? Their function is to grip and tear food. Tigers have padded paws. Padded paws means the cushion-like cover on the underside of the toes and feet of animals. This enables them to silently stalk. It means following their prey very closely and watching every move of it. Padded paws of tiger also helps to capture their prey easily. The eyes of predatory carnivores are located in the front of their head. It helps them to spot their prey from a long distance. The eyes of herbivores are below the forehead on either side of the head. This gives them wide angle vision which helps to protect them from predators. Their legs are long and tapering with strong hooves. Hooves means the hard part on the bottom of the feet of animal which enables them to run fast, taking long leaps means long jump. Their long and freely moving ears can receive the sound from long distances and different directions. Deer and blackbucks have colors that merge with their surroundings. Their teeth are strong for chewing tough, hard plant material. Next one is adaptation in desert animals. Deserts are characterized by severe scarcity of water. Hence, desert animals have a thick skin to prevent loss of water from the body. Their legs are long with flat and cushioned soles to protect from heat of the ground. The nostrils are protected by folds of skin. The eyelashes are long and thick to protect from sandstorms. Rats, snakes, spiders, lizards in deserts live in deep burrows during daytime and are active at night because temperature is very high during daytime. Next one is adaptation in animals of snowy region. A white or silver body color, long thick hair on the skin and are typical characteristics of animals of snowy region. Their white fur gets camouflaged against the white background of snow, protecting it from predators and also helps them to catch their prey. Two thick layers of fur act as an insulator, protecting them from the surrounding harsh climate. Next one is adaptation in aerial animals. The spindle-shaped body means their body is wide in the middle and tapers at both ends. So the spindle-shaped body of birds also minimizes the resistance of air while flying. With hollow bones, a body covering of feathers and modifications of forelegs, that is front legs into wings, and their body is light in weight and adapted for flying. The body of insects also is light in weight and tapers at both ends. They can fly with two pairs of wings and also walk with 6 stick-like legs. Bats can fly with the help of the patagium, a thin fold of skin between their forelegs and hind legs. Hind legs means back leg. Another one is adaptation in reptiles. Animals like house lizard, garden lizard, and crocodile use their muscles for creeping. Similarly, they show adaptations in skin, soles of feet, body color, etc. For example, the house lizard and monitor lizards have clawed toes and thin soles, whereas snakes have a scaly skin. Next one is adaptation for food in animals. We can categorize animals as herbivorous and carnivorous. Herbivorous refer to those animals that consume only plants. This includes leaves, grains, and seeds. On the other hand, carnivorous are those animals that eat meat in order to survive. Special adaptations are seen in each category to make the process of feeding easy. We will discuss this in greater detail in the chapter Nutrition. Next, we will see adaptation for blending with the surroundings. We cannot easily spot colorful butterflies, lizards, and grasshoppers. They get camouflaged amidst grasses, parts of plants like stem, leaves, flowers, etc. That is because their colors blend with those of their surroundings. Changes that take place in the various organs and life processes like respiration, reproduction, excretion of organisms that enable them to live, feed, reproduce, to perpetuate themselves and protect themselves from their enemies in specific surroundings, depending upon the habitat and its geographical conditions, are called adaptations. Always remember, adaptation is not a sudden process. It will not take place overnight. It is gradual and continuous. Differences in the structure and appearance of present-day animals and animals of thousands of years ago are the adaptations that occurred according to prevailing conditions. It is our duty to conserve this diversity. Next is Darwin's theory of evolution. Charles Darwin, a biologist, studied numerous types of plants and animals and suggested that only those organisms are likely to survive which can best adapt themselves to a changing environment. This is called the theory of survival of the fittest. This is Darwin's first principle. If an organism is born with a new beneficial characteristics and is able to survive, this change is preserved in the next generation. This is Darwin's second principle and is called the theory of natural selection. For example, insects become resistant to pesticides very quickly, sometimes in one generation. If an insect is resistant to the chemical, most of the offspring will also be resistant. Considering that insect generations can be a matter of weeks, insects in an area can become immune to a chemical within months. Next is classification of living organisms. Why are the living things classified? There are variety of organisms in our surrounding. To identify the difference between those organisms or living things are classified. Which are the criteria used for classification of plants and animals? Plants are classified according to height, shape of stems, period of life cycle, whether they are flowering or non-flowering plants, and their habitat. Animals are classified according to cell structure, vertebral column, method of reproduction, and habitat. It is difficult to study and remember all the organisms in this diverse living world at the same time. Classification helps in this respect. Different scientists have used different criteria and independently classified plants and animals. A hierarchy. Hierarchy means grouping things according to level and order. Is formed in the classification that starts with kingdom Animalia or kingdom Plantae. Further, groups and subgroups are formed depending upon basic similarities and differences. This is called the hierarchy of classification. In today's digital world, everyone must have done online shopping. You order product online and it gets delivered to your address. But how they manage to deliver your product properly at your doorstep? Yes, it's your address. Address is the main component which ensures that product will reach you instead of someone else. Normally, address format includes country, state, district, city, locality, house number, and name. As you can see, address contains ranking or hierarchy. Country is the biggest unit of it, which contains highest number of individuals, and name of individual is smallest unit of it. For convenient study of living organisms, hierarchy of classification was proposed. Now we will explore hierarchy of classification to identify organism. All organisms of the world are divided in 5 kingdoms, which are as follows. First one is Monera, second one is Protista, third one is Fungi, fourth one is Plantae, and last one is Animalia. But after observation, they identified that in all kingdoms there were groups of organisms which were similar to each other as compared to other groups. In kingdom Animalia, these small groups are known as phylum, and in kingdom Plantae, these groups are known as division. When organisms of phylum and division were studied, further it was identified that these groups also contains similar groups of organisms. In phylum, these groups were called as class. Similarly, every class is further subdivided in order, family, genus, and species. In this way, hierarchy of classification was formed. So now we will try to understand hierarchy of classification with the example of address. So in address, biggest unit of hierarchy is country, whereas in hierarchy of classification, biggest unit is kingdom. Now in country, there are many states, whereas in kingdom, there are phylum or division. Now here we are comparing state with phylum or division. We know that state consists of many districts. Similarly, phylum consists of small groups known as class. Moving forward, districts are subdivided into cities. Similarly, class consists of order. Here, we are comparing city with order. In similar manner, family, genus, and species can be compared with locality, house number, and name of individual. The hierarchy of classification of human given in your textbook is as follows. The kingdom of human is Animalia, phylum is Chordata, class is Mammalia, order is Primate, family is Hominidae, genus is Homo, and species are Sapiens. This is binomial nomenclature by Carl Linnaeus. Imagine that there are 4 students with a name Kabir or Kiran in a classroom. If you are talking about any one of them, how would you ensure that others know which one of them you are talking about without any confusion? We would tell the full name, that is the first name and the last name. This is similar to binomial nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature is used to identify each organism. Accordingly, a scientific name has been assigned to each organism. It consists of 2 parts. The first part is genus and second is species. All identified organisms have been assigned a binomial name as per the guidelines of the International Code of Nomenclature. All the organisms of a species are so similar that irrespective of differences in color, height, habitat, and habits, they can reproduce among themselves and form a new individuals like themselves. For example, all domestic cats in the world belong to the same species. The same is true in the case of animals like hen, cow, dog, etc. and plants like mango, wheat, maize, etc. Following are some examples of organisms from kingdom Plantae and Animalia are classified by the binomial method of nomenclature. Scientific name of dog is Canis lupus familiaris. For cow, it is Bos taurus. For hibiscus, it is Hibiscus rosa sinensis. And for jawar, it is Sorghum bicolor. 29th April is observed as World Frog Protection Day. Killing or harming frogs is prohibited by the Wildlife Protection Act. So students, our first chapter is completed. I hope you all understood. Thanks for watching this video. Stay home, stay safe.